Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Raising NA, where we have a very fun episode where we get to talk about the postseason of everything, because we are now in the postseason for both LCS and Proving Grounds and Academy. It's all here, it's all now, and I am super excited. Of course, we still have the LCS playoffs to finish up, but we've got all the Worlds teams, we got all the Proving Grounds teams, and I'm pumped. I've got myself here, Smax, and with my good friends Raafaa and Cubby, or should I say Snorlax and Cubby?
You can call me Raafaa.
Raafaa.
Raafaa, because it's late at night and we are just piss chilling. That's why.
I've got myself some pizza here, as I just got done with like a 7-hour cast, so I'm gonna be drinking. I'm gonna be eating that. This whole
Smax
time.
is drinking poggers.
No, I'm not drinking right now.
Damn it!
But
Cubby.
I am eating
we
pizza.
Almost got him. Shit.
I'm eating trail mix.
Nice.
Fine.
All right.
Now,
what's the story behind this Snorlax onesie today? Because you just kind of showed up.
yeah,
and,
what's the
and
choice
had this
here,
on.
Rafa? From the artist.
This is a birthday gift for one of them. And this is the first weekend I've had where I wasn't working in a while, so today was a me day, so I just kind of lounged around, watched some more Haikyuu, watched my first LEC best of 5 in completion today out of the entire season. That was a banger. Right into the C9 TFM best of 5, which was another banger. So I just sat at home and was cozy.
Brother, I started off my day by staying up to watch Genji T1, and that was my first best of 5 of the day. And I got to watch 4 bangers.
Yeah, I saw the first 2 games. I fell asleep.
I made it through 3.
Yeah, I could not. Did it go to 5 games or was it only 4?
That was the only one that did not go to 5.
Who won? T1?
They're going to Worlds.
Let's go. We got the Faker.
Who are they playing as? Damwon?
Genji.
Oh,
well,
no,
they have Damwon for the finals, but they beat Genji.
Yeah. Genji is already at Worlds, or they're already qualified for Worlds, yeah?
No.
Really?
It's Damwon and T1, and everyone else has to play out through the regional qualifier, I think. Unless Genji's the 3rd team. They might have 4 slots.
They do have 4 slots.
Yeah. We got to figure out all the world stuff still. So, but that said, before we start off this episode, I do want to say, and I feel strongly about this, I think this was the most entertaining 24 hours of League of Legends across the globe I've ever seen in the 11 years that League's been around. Like, the matchups, we have T1 versus Genji, WE versus EDG, and then the 4 biggest organizations in the West to fight for 2 world slots, and the other 2 orgs are going home for the year. Like, was it the best League of Legends? No. But was it, like, the most entertaining, like, the highest stakes league that, like, we could get? And you have 4 best of 5s like that going on across the globe, like, in amazing 24 hours. That was so fun. So, I'm starting there.
Yeah, when it comes to script writing, this is the best that the script writers have done for League of Legends esports in a hot fucking minute. So props to them, man. Holy moly. How did they manage to get it all to line up on one day? That's
honestly though, fire LCK for not having that go to 5. So, but
they should have paid T1 to throw one of the matches or one of the
they did. Game 1 was abysmal from them.
Genji is already qualified
pulled
for
up in Italy, and
thank
I
you,
was
Curbs.
like,
oh, Curbs.
Man.
Oh, Curbs also hit us with the facts. Thank you. But yeah, both those teams. Well, T1 wasn't qualified yet, so that still had Worlds implications.
Yes, it did. And same with WE, because there was something on the line for them as well. I don't know all the details, but yeah.
Let me take a look. Yeah, the only LPL team that's qualified right now is FunPlus. So they are not in quite yet, but we'll see. And we did just find out
the only LPL team qualified is the scariest fucking team in the entire tournament.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh my god. But yeah, we to raise specifically NA, we have our Worlds teams. Team Liquid is officially qualified for the group stage, and 100 Thieves and Cloud9 are officially qualified for Worlds in general. And us being NA, we have those 3 spots and those 3 spots only. So these guys are our representatives. And good for me, my Team Liquid merch just came in the mail, so I've got merch for all 3 of those teams.
Nice.
I'm wearing the proper merch today, as C9 did win.
Yeah.
So congrats to them. But let's actually start with the teams we have to say goodbye to. As Immortals, Dignitas, and I think more interestingly enough, EG and TSM will not be joining us at Worlds, and their season has come to an end. So you're now down to 3 teams in the LCS. Does anyone feel strongly about where to start there with any of the teams in particular?
I'm so sad about Danny.
But it's going bald now, so that's pretty lit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was not the only tweet that he posted saying that if something happens, he will shave his head. So I
appreciate it. You know, he's 17. He's playing with fire.
I'm pretty sure he just wanted to shave his head in general.
Yeah.
But he's taking the Kangas approach where he makes it into content. It's like, hey, if this happens, I'm gonna shave my mustache. Like everyone knows. Everyone knows you just want to do this, Kangas. But
I mean, you can tell I'm in day 2 of growing out my mustache.
Oh, I couldn't tell.
It's gonna be bad.
I'm excited.
We shall see.
Side note, Smax, did you see the banger response that Kelsey put on Cubby's tweet about growing facial hair?
I didn't. I need to go.
Oh my god.
I was done so dirty.
Cubby. All right, which tweet was it?
Don't let Kelsey Moser fool you. She's a fucking stone cold killer, and she will strike at any time. That fucking masochist.
Oh my god.
When was this tweet, Cubby?
They're gonna have to scroll down a bit. I've done some shit posting in the last few days.
Oh, it was so good.
It's it's in the mustache poll.
The mustache. Is there a picture?
There is a picture that is a part of the threads, but a thread was started by Kelsey.
Oh, it was Kelsey's tweet.
No. It was from my Twitter, but it's in a thread.
Oh my god! Just link it to me.
All right, Raafaa, you got it?
I can't find it.
Yeah, I will acquire.
Since Raafaa's going on a mission to fill in Smax, let's have Smax fill us in on your thoughts about Dignitas leaving us for the split, which I think wasn't that surprising to most people. But any closing thoughts on Dig?
I think Dignitas was definitely the team that was most likely to not qualify.
Maybe Golden Guardians, but
yeah, maybe. I had some Golden Guardians hopium, so
hopium.
But yeah, I think I have a lot of respect for Dignitas now that they have Will on their academy team, and you are starting to see they have some pretty cool developmental pieces.
We're going to talk about Will a lot.
Both teams, yeah. Will is sick. The fact that they stuck with Fake God and Neo is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think both of those guys are deserving of LCS spots despite their lackluster finish, and I think a lot of that is just off of the sort of explosion that happened with Dardoch. Whether or not it's his fault, it did leave Dignitas in a pretty rough spot, at least for their LCS team. And while Acadian's really solid, just having to adjust to a new jungler is never something that you want to do when you're really close to getting to that postseason. So I think that's a rough spot for Dig to be in, but I do respect them for committing to at least top and bot. I'm still really confused as to what was going on with the Yusui choice, but by the end, he looked like a strong performer, so I can't even be too mad about him.
We never got a great answer on that one, and we were told that they'd be trading time, and then it just never happened. Which I will disagree with you that I thought that by the end Yusui was a strong performer. I still thought that he wasn't that great, but that team had issues. But embracing the positives.
Aphromoo can still hang. Also,
embracing the positives. I think Afremu, low key. If you voted for him as your third team all support, I would not have scoffed at it.
He can still hang.
I think that Neo, if he wasn't overshadowed by Danny being as good as he was in the summer, was more deserving to be talked about for the Rookie of the Year. And I appreciate that Dig stuck with their young talent and invested in it. And I think that Acadian is... I thought he should have gotten the most improved player. And the fact that he was top 10 in MVP voting, I think, is very warranted. Because what he did when he stepped in that roster, week 3, week 4, it was the Dardoch show. We thought that they'd be a shell of themselves without Dardoch. And Acadian filled in and played very well. And yes, he was playing unique picks. Yes, he was playing as Kane, but who cares? Like, they're not a team that you expect to win the league. So you can do whatever you want to win the game. Like, they figured out ways to win the game that beat other teams, and they punched above their weight class and beat a lot of expectations. So the end of the year, I'm actually surprised that I'm saying a lot more nice things about Dig than I thought I would. Any mean things I have to say about Dig, just hire a better PR team. You know, that's about where I'm at. So,
yep. Maybe don't post Will's head on Afremu's body in all of your social media posts. Maybe don't do that.
Maybe don't make a roster change video that is like Acadian's like joke dating profile.
Yeah. They've got some stuff to work on, but definitely not all bad for Dignitas at the end of the year.
No, it's not all bad. Anything to add, Raafaa, or do you want to pick a new team?
I found said tweet, by the way. I posted it in
It's a banger.
Smax's DMs. So you pull up that tweet, Smax, and then you look at at her response later on. Just
I got smoked.
Just the wispy facial hair.
Looks like Thomas Brody Sangster. You know who that is?
So we talked about EG, Dignitas. Have we addressed TSM or Immortals yet?
I haven't even really talked about EG. You can take whatever team you want.
Well, I will say, when we started the show, I remember that I was very forward for the Jojapyeon LCS waiting room because I thought Jizuke was too volatile of a player. As this season took place, Jizuke went from being a very volatile player to being one of the hardest carries in the LCS. And I think that is remarkable. Even if they got 3-0'd by Cloud9 and knocked out of World's contention in playoffs, I think what Evil Geniuses had going for them and for the players all across the board had an admirable performance in season. It's a shame to see them go out like that, and how one series it was not their day to play, and Cloud9 showed up as the better team. So that being said, I understand that if Jizuke is not brought back because they're ready to move Jojapyeon up to LCS, that's on EG. But I would not be against either decision. Because normally I would just be like, just get Jojapyeon in there ASAP. But off of the way that Jizuke played, and especially with the interview he gave post-defeat, I felt a lot of sympathy. So I wouldn't mind either option at this point.
I mean,
I think both of them should be on LCS at this point. If Jojo wasn't so shaky by the end, and still is, honestly, we'll see. I know that what happened in spring, when EG didn't make playoffs, or they made playoffs, but they didn't keep going in playoffs. the LCS staff helped out for the academy team a lot, so maybe JoJo gets a huge buff from that. But I think JoJo still is showing some signs of volatility himself. So some interesting stuff there. I like Danny. Danny's good. I'm glad he got a pop-off game. And I'm sad that he's not going to Worlds in his rookie year. But at the same time, it's his rookie year. He's going to be in LCS for a long time.
I think the EG, as an org, had an amazing year.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't make Worlds, but it is what it is. They were the worst team. But if you look at that team, like, you have good problems to have in the offseason. Like, talking about, like, what Raafaa's sitting on, right? And specifically for Jizuke, I think Jizuke is a great example of how the community can be, like, really toxic and against a player. Because think of the community's perception on Jizuke. And also a lesson to players about why you should do media and talk shows. Because he played well. He does, like, 2 podcasts. And this guy becomes, like, one of the most beloved characters, honestly, that we have in NA. And he is still my vote for MVP. I think that Jizuke should be MVP sincerely. I don't think he's going to win it. I think that he should be MVP. I think that that team's identity was completely built around Jizuke, and it's a regular season award. He played the best in the regular season. If Speak is going to win it, that's fine. But this is why, like, you don't write off or count out players, like, because you learn who they are and, like, figure that out and do, like, what a teammate, like, what a guy that is. And he needs rev share on ProView, and that's how I'll end my statement, like, actually. Because really holy shit, it's so funny. But yeah,
he carries that service so hard.
Yeah. So, huge fan of what EG's done and what they're doing. It sucks that they're not in Worlds, but if you look at orgs like that have a formula to succeed moving forward, EG has a formula to succeed moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to be the team that spends $11 million in a roster. I don't think any team should spend $11 million in a roster. But when you're not that team, you got to figure out smarter ways to win. And I think that EG is, like, trying to do that. So it was a good year for EG.
We're going to talk more about their teams when we get to the Proving Grounds section, but I think it's important to remember what the conversation was like last time, or last year around this time, where 100 Thieves Next was really showing every LCS team how it's done and showing that they can get NA talent, they can find these trainees and bring them up. And you're all thinking, wow, 100 Thieves is really cornered the market here. I wonder if any LCS team that isn't them is going to do a similar thing. EG did it. And I don't think anyone can argue that. EG really stepped it up and in some ways did it even better than 100 Thieves in this year. So very well done. I'm super happy to have them in the NA atmosphere in general. A lot of that is because of the staff that they brought on for this year. Peter, Kelsey, all these people. So super exciting stuff for EG to just be in the space in general. We've got 2 of them now, at least. And I'm excited for what that means for 2020.
All right. Immortals. I don't have a ton to say about Immortals, but I think they really surprised a lot of people with how well they performed. They improved from spring to summer. I appreciate that. They had faith in the players they had. I appreciate that. They didn't make Worlds, but I think they actually helped C9 beat TSM because they did show a lot of TSM's weaknesses in a couple of those games. Seriously.
Yeah. Not wrong. I really appreciate them sticking with the rookies too. I said it on the League Night podcast too, but just to repeat it, just keeping all these players that have not had a good reputation for like success, I guess, in North America, you know, Revenge, Xerxes, Insanity, keeping them the entire year, I think is really cool. So
I mean, to be fair, it was Revenge and Insanity's like first year.
Yeah, that's true. In LCS for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do remember not so fondly a 10th place Academy split for Revenge. That wasn't great. So
Revenge did not have a great split.
It's definitely still there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like, he's actually made a case for himself to like be a starting top laner in LCS, which for a rookie, that's pretty big. So it was a good split for him.
Well done for Immortals. I think they exceeded expectations a lot. So,
Xerxes,
really
one of the most underrated players in the league, too.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, Raafaa.
This pizza's good.
TSM.
Why'd you give me fucking TSM, man?
I mean, it's not just yours. You just have to start with it, which
Okay,
fucking blows.
okay.
But there are a lot of comments that can help, like, pull from Reddit to help you stimulate some of your thoughts. If you want some of those.
You remember at the start of the split where I said
Do I?
that there would be 2 million TSM
Dude,
hate threads?
there is a tweet from the Cloud9 social media page where
The hazmat suit.
yeah, putting on the Met suit and then opening the doors, the TSM subreddit. I'm like, oh my god, so true.
Did you see the one I made about Core JJ and reading the subreddit?
Oh
Yeah. The Wile E. Coyote one.
yeah.
So funny.
Even the players know. Like, that's how bad it is. Like, that's when you know it's bad. Like, it's not just us. The players are like, oh, like, this is fucking toxic.
Yeah, hang on. I need to look up the TSM subreddit real quick. But
Why?
well, cause I'm
For inspiration. Inspiration.
Yeah, I mean,
no, but
we're
see,
gonna have to do
the
it
thing is,
eventually.
here's the thing. I don't actually want to go into this flaming.
No, you do. It's
do I?
a psychology experiment. Like, you just got to do it for the entertainment value, man.
The way that TSM played game 1 and 3, had it not been for the late game in game 2, we would be talking about TSM going to Worlds, and Cloud9 would be the ones that we would be asking what happened, you know? So I don't know. After game 4, and I saw the way that Cloud9 bounced back and had a really solid like game from start to finish, I was like, you know what?
Had a draft. Moving on.
I'm just looking at it from a perspective of like, you know what? At this point, going to game 5, I don't care who wins. You know, TSM or Cloud9 could either win, and I would still be instilled with the same amount of confidence with our 3rd seed going into Worlds.
Entertainment
Which I think
value.
is pretty fair. So, that being said, I feel really bad for Spica. And I think Sword Art was very, very close to salvaging a lot of the games from what I remember.
Did you see
in
that?
My Snorlax
Did you see their bot lane 2v2 in game 5? Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Lost was MVP of that series if TSM wins. by
Oh
the way.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That subreddit, by the way, half the comments are flaming Lost. He's MVP of that series if they win.
Oh really? Oh, that's a shame.
It's so fucking hilarious.
So stupid.
Like I said, it's a social experiment. Like, you just got to go in there for the psychology value, you know?
I'll do it later tonight.
It's a good time. I've gone through there a few extra, you know. Let's make sure we have our facts right.
Oh yeah, definitely facts are what you can find in the TSM subreddit. Absolutely, that's what you're
For
looking
TSM, like, this was like the first year in a while where I kind of saw what TSM were putting together. And, like, I had some doubts, but I was like, you know what? Like, I could see this working, you know? It wasn't like a doomsday scenario. I think they had some issues, but they also played to their strengths. Like, I think that one of the hits on TSM that a lot of people are going towards is like, oh, like, PoE only plays mages. Like, he didn't play, like, the AD meta. Bitch, they were first in the regular season playing that meta. Like, playing their game. Like, they figured out how to play their game. And I will stand by the fact I think they are a top 8 team in the world past 20 minutes. I really do. Like, the way they play the map past that time was really, really solid throughout the regular season. I think that some of the issues, though, for TSM, I think they're a team that was hurt by the fact that LCS is best of 1. Not even kidding. And I think that the way the TSM played and got a lot of their wins, they played to their strengths. They played smart. But when the way you beat bad teams in the league, because you can call other teams bad because you're TSM and you put a lot of money into your roster, right? You beat them by picking scaling and just doing nothing early to ensure that you don't lose. And that's not playing to win. That's not playing to help you in these best of series. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to have any hit on TSM, it has to be either tied to Huni's wave management or that. Like, for me, I thought that Lost and Sword Art were emerging as a really good bot lane in the LCS. Mm-hmm. I think PoE and Spica had a great split. I think that Sword Art was very slept on, and everyone just memed that he cost so much money, but he was actually a very good support, right? And it just didn't come together for TSM. And you know what? Sometimes that happens. Like, I think there are 5 good teams in the league that we had this split. I thought this would be the most exciting race for Worlds we had ever seen between NA and EU, and this is just how the cookie crumbled, and EG and TSM are out, the other 3 are in. I think if you play out these playoffs a few more times, you might get some different results. That's how close the teams were. So, yeah. I don't know. It like really pisses me off, like seeing like everyone like, oh, like just dump everyone but Spica or like shit like that. Where it's like, no, I think TSM was like, yeah, they don't make Worlds, but I think this is actually close to like a decent winning formula. There was like thought put behind putting the roster together, and I think you send that team internationally and they don't go 0-6. That's for sure. I mean, I think they get bodied by some of the LPL teams, but I think everyone's gonna get bodied by some of the LPL teams.
True. Well, Cubby, if it makes you feel any better, G2 just got their first taste of not going to Worlds, and those fans are also doing the same thing.
G2 and Misfits, you know, it sucks. Like, I think they're 2 really good teams as well.
Yeah.
So, happens.
Yeah, I can't believe some of the fans that are...
it's a social experiment, you know? You just got to do it for the memes. Just got to go in there, tough it out. You come out a stronger person on the other side.
Yeah, I would like to clarify when I said I feel sorry for Spica. I don't mean that as like, yeah, because he's on a shit team. Because
he's probably going to be the MVP and he's going to miss Worlds. That kind of sucks.
Yeah. I will always have a lot more sympathy for NA talent that are showing up and doing extremely well. No disrespect to the rest of the team. It's always cool to hype up domestic talent originally. But the rest of the roster was strong, and like we said, game 1, TSM fucking bodied the shit out of Cloud9 in the early game. The sequence that came from the 2v2 or the 4-on, let's see, it was like a 2v2 PoE and Spica hit Blabber in the river, came up, cut off bot lane through the tower dive like that. That shit was insane to watch. I was like, wow, where is this? Where was this?
Dude, the Pantheon picks, games 1 and 2, were actually lit. Like, that was actually a good pick. Like, I was sitting in a betting Discord where everyone's, like, betting on draft. I cannot contractually bet, and so I do not for 1 more week where my contract's up. Moving on. Everyone's like, oh, dude, Pantheon's, like, so griefier. Like, why the fuck would you, like, pick Pantheon? I'm, like, looking, and I'm like, no, it's actually pretty good. Like, you gotta rise. Like, you just sit on his face the entire game, and he doesn't do shit. Like, he goes for a combo, just pop the E, you go invulnerable. It's like, oh, you get beat by split pushers? Guess what? You have a global from support that you can use. Like, it was a really good pick from Sword Art.
Yeah, and the fact that he got a lot of gold early on because of the skirmishing that they won meant that he was actually a threat. Did you see the damage that he was putting out in, what was it, Game 3? Or, he had like a Duskblade Umbral Glaive before Vulcan finished his first mythic.
Dude, Pantheon, like, pre-level 9, just, like, he pops kids. It doesn't matter what role.
Yeah. So it was fun. So, like I said, after I saw the game 4 from Cloud9, I was like, I am content with whoever wins this series. Just make it thank you for making it 5 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to pick between the two, I'd rather send C9 to Worlds because they play more proactive. But I think both teams were, like, good enough to go to Worlds and, like, you know, not embarrass themselves.
Sure. Yeah. I definitely don't advocate for hate or booming of rosters at this time. So just a shame though that everyone else in the subreddits are not going to feel the same way.
Subreddits. I actually sort of can't believe that this is a completely different subject. Sort of can't believe that the most improved award exists. I feel like it is just really backhanded to hand out. Like, if there was ever a player to do it, I guess you could give it to Fudge. But like, I don't know. I hate that award, personally.
The most improved player?
I don't. Yes.
I like it. It's really good in other sports. My vote would have been Acadian.
Yeah, you mentioned that before. I
thought Fudge was all right in spring.
It's over the entire year, right?
Yeah.
So, what was Acadian doing at the start of the year? He was still on Dig Academy, so maybe that's. I don't know. I guess you could say that is. I don't know. But like at the same time, wouldn't it just be Danny? Based on like how they were at the start of the year to now, I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I don't want to give it any more thought.
So I think.
Yeah, exactly. But like you went from not even in Academy to on LCS. I don't know.
Honestly, Revenge should have been a candidate too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really don't like that award though. I think it's really.
It's great for traditional sports because like you get some really good or what they do is comeback player of the year because like a lot of injuries happen, right? So there's a great story about this QB. His name's Alex Smith, like great guy, team leader, captain, right? And he broke his leg on the field. They almost had to amputate it because it was so bad, like the break. He had 17 surgeries, and then came back 3 years later and took this like really shitty org to the playoffs, the Washington football team. And then he gets comeback player of the year. Like that's pretty cool. Like that's a pretty amazing story to reward. And I think if they painted it more like that it'd be a cool award.
Yeah.
So like maybe for gaming, like most
player. Yeah. Is different.
Yeah, like injuries happen, right? Like it's pretty rare. Like in like Santorum would qualify like this year, kind of right with migraines, but
yeah, absolutely.
That he's like the only one, right? Or like the only one that we know of. So I think it's pretty. I can see like rephrasing it, but yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, that's that. That's my tangent there.
Now on to the Worlds teams.
The Worlds team.
We've got C9, 100, and TL.
So good.
So you're high on TL?
I am. I'm very happy that they're in form because I was very sad that Santorin was having troubles, and I was really bummed out that Alfari was struggling on the team too. But the fact that they came back in the form that they did, and Core JJ looks like the best player on the Rift again, that's giving me hype.
I mean,
I'm very happy about it.
I think a lot of people have been sleeping on 100 Thieves, man. Like, no one was counting them. Like, not anyone was giving them any shit or any credit going into their series against TL. They played TL damn well. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I thought, like, they have a different read in the meta. It's very obvious. It doesn't kill them. But, like, they play to it. They play it well. And Closer is really fucking good. And I think he's going to be, like, the key 400 here. Because I don't know if they have other strong players. But they're not going to, like, straight up gap anyone else the way that Closer might be able to.
Welcome to the Closer fan club.
Yeah.
Thank you. Welcome.
So,
Raafaa, you joining me?
I think everyone's sleeping on 100 and saying they're like a bad like org to like rep us or whatever. Like I think they're gonna do fine. Like I actually really like the early game.
Are there people that are saying 100 Thieves are bad to rep us?
Yeah, I think I think a lot of people like wanted TSM instead of 100 Thieves or EG instead of 100 Thieves. I think 100 Thieves because they slumped week 9 was the org that like everyone was counting out coming into playoffs. That was like my impression. I think a lot of people have been sleeping on them. Like they're a good team. Week 9, like 8, yeah, they played like worse, but they dominated everyone for 7 weeks of the league. Like,
not wrong.
Yeah,
I'm Closer fanboy.
I'm actually Abadage fanboy.
At this point,
it's true.
From what I have learned after today's series, the regular season doesn't matter as much as
Spring
sometimes
split non-believer Raafaa.
Best of one, man. Give us at least best of two.
It's a spring split non-believer.
Yeah, I guess you are, Marc, huh? What do you say about that?
No,
Abolish
just
spring
like
split?
I at this point, anytime I'm just taking this as now precedent that no matter what happens in future seasons that are best of ones, anyone can come back and show up in playoffs and get into worlds. And as long as they just get the practice down and they have a good read on the meta going into worlds, then maybe they can do well. And it's like, and it's awesome story for them to say like, yeah, we were struggling in regular season, or whether it's they didn't want to burn themselves out in the regular season, whatever reason they have for not performing well. If it works, it works. So, because I know a few weeks ago, Cubby called me out saying, just wait, playoff perks will show up. And it happened. It happened. And I'm like, and like, I'm not mad about it. I'm happy that Cloud9 are in because I'm a Cloud9 fan. But originally, it just makes me consider like, man, how much like going into future seasons as people who follow broadcasts, how much stock do we put into regular season games when it's best of one? Now it's like if it's best of 2 or best of 3, maybe things change. But even then, like look at Cloud9 Academy this past summer. They were struggling, and they clutched it to make it all the way to grand finals. I know this is kind of skipping into it. The Academy season, they didn't win, but still, that's a hell of a way to just like bite through the dirt and get through it all. So, I feel like that there is something that I never thought it would be such a valuable take when he said at the time. But when I was casting with Crumbs for the first time, and he's like, hey man, just relax, take it easy, no need to be nervous. This is week 2, regular season games. Don't put that much stock into them. Things will change by the end of the season and when we get into playoffs. So just, keep it smooth. I thought it was just because
Raafaa pitched showing IRL and casting.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought we were just like, oh, he's saying that because we're just, we don't want to put too much, I don't know, like, hype into it because it's like, it's Academy. But now I realize it's like, man, when you've seen multiple seasons of like regular season, I mean, I think it also just comes from the fact that after season 6 or season 7 of LCS, I stopped watching LCS as religiously as I used to. So I don't remember what happened during the regular seasons of 8, 9, and 10 as much.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Regular season is lame. Give us a
best of 2s, please.
Quintuple elimination bracket that just lasts for 4 months.
No, but actually best of 2s. Like I do think that best of 2s are the best way to like see who the best League of Legends team is, even if that means there's a tie. Like it's the most even way to match up because you each get a choice to side.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely. Best of 2s worked super well for Academy. It was great for the broadcast. It was great for everything, and I think LCS could use it for the team's sake and also just for fun on the broadcast too. So,
all right,
definitely down for that.
Moving forward, TL.
Yeah.
Anything to say about TL? I know we didn't talk about them that much. I think they're the best team that we have. They should have represented us at MSI, and I think they're going to win. But I think 100 Thieves will make it close. I think 100 beat C9.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think that's a hot take, but I think that everyone is sleeping on 100, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why not. Like, I think Closer's just having a B split. But
I'm down.
At TL, they're the best team we could have sent. Like, they are the best 5-man roster. They are the best team.
I agree.
Alfari is just so good at the top. He's so much better than everyone else in his role. It's so stupid.
He really is.
He plays
And
every
poor
matchup
JJ's looking
so
like that
beautifully.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the fact that I watched the first series of Cloud9 and I was like, oh, holy shit, Vulcan is popping off. And then he plays against Core JJ and it's just like a support cap the other way. That was really eye-opening for me. After that happened, I was like, yeah, Team Liquid's gonna win the whole thing. This is nuts. And I was talking to Cubby the other day about how you were on the show, Cubby, and you were like, yeah, Team Liquid, Cloud9, they're gonna have the best of 5 buff. And I was like, no, it's not gonna happen. It's gonna be TSMEG and 100. But you were right. So Core JJ best of 5s, and then Alfari Santorin are back. And Jensen's looking really good too. I have loved Jensen on LeBlanc. I think everyone feels the same way. But
I love this
that is
Syndra.
sick. Yeah, that guy is so good. The fact that it's back to mages. We were talking about how like Power of Evil is really good at mages. Jensen is really good at mages, man. Holy shit.
It's like real quick. That like clutch gene or things like that. Like, I know it's like an intangible, but like it exists in like every single sport. And so I kind of think that like the all-star players that, like win at the highest level, like some of them have that in the league. You can like kind of tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's cool. So I do like kind of like in terms of betting on the person, right? Which is like what I'm doing with Perks and Core, but Perks is so fucking good. He's the best player like in the West, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's too good. Well,
yeah. Anyway, anything else about LCS or anything else about Worlds?
I didn't get a chance to watch the Kari, aka Space Ghost, episode of Next Level yet.
It was good,
but I was busy, so I intended on doing it.
It's really good.
I am going to watch it as soon as we're done with this. Actually,
congrats to Kari Space Ghost. That's awesome.
I highly recommend everyone checking that out, and all the Next Level episodes, really, because that show is awesome. I've watched all of them. They're so good.
Well, Smax, you haven't watched that one yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
That episode was really cool because they addressed some pretty kind of like
mental health
topics, that
women in gaming.
mental health, being a woman in esports was the big one, and those are the things that like don't get discussed often, and
she pushed it there.
Yeah, and I'm glad
that's what it looked like when they produced it.
Yeah, and the way that I think the way she approached it in the episode, she said, let's not kid ourselves. It's being a woman in esports. You're gonna get a lot of people that just don't take you seriously, and that's the truth. There's a lot of fucking incels that exist in that like video games.
I've tuned into the TSM subreddit.
Yeah. Probably the G2 subreddit as well.
No, that was probably filled with like really banger memes.
Yeah. I mean, overall, there's just...
This is their first major taste of defeat, Cubby. We'll see their true colors.
Let Raafaa go. What do you got, buddy?
Yeah. No, it's a good episode. Because it just kind of brings some things to the forefront. So I'm glad they got her on, and I'm glad that Acadian got to open up about something also really impactful as well, because what Acadian talked about, not only mental health but also how damaging social perception and community perception of players has on the player's own psyche as well. Because when they whenever they come back, like at Acadian, who has been this player that has always like come in after Dardoch on a team, but has never been given a actual starting spot in LCS history, like a full starting spot from the beginning, rather just coming in as a band-aid and never like
3 years straight.
Yeah. First Echo Fox, then TSM, now Dignitas. So right, every single time, he's always considered a band-aid, never like a permanent solution to actually be instated from the get-go. And players like Acadian, players like, I'm going to use this to transition into Academy. and talking about Academy, you look at players like Haunser for TSM Academy, Cody's son, Lorlo, Dignitas Academy, Darshawn, Cloud9 Academy. These are all players who are now considered like washed up from grand community perceptions. And it's like, yeah, they don't have what it takes to play in LCS anymore. So they're just in academy jail. They're just here to mentor the next generation. And then when they're done playing, obviously these players still want to fight to play an LCS again, at least before they go and, say they're done playing. They're not being an academy because it's like, oh yeah, they're content. They're taking it because it's the best option that they can get at this point. And they want to prove that they can play an LCS. And the way that the community is very unforgiving about where a player is, and how that like reflects on their perception of how well they are versus how they are actually playing, fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah. Like, that's why it's kind of important that, like, people at least have a decent baseline of the game, or the broadcast, like, represents that well, right? Because if it's wrong, then it's damaging to, like, what these guys are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's hit Acadian a couple times, especially, like, all the roster hops. Like, that doesn't look great for fan perspective, even though, he's trying his hardest to, like, figure out the best of the situation. So, yeah, it was a good episode. Anyway, Raafaa, do you have anything else you want to bring up before we go to Academy?
No, we're going to Academy. That was the whole fucking point of the transition.
That is
all right.
That is what he said.
Academy.
Fun
fact.
Give me that fun fact, Cubby.
The 3 teams that made Worlds so far are TL, 100 Thieves, C9. The top 3 in Academy are TL, C9, 100 Thieves, and FlyQuest. But that's some Illuminati shit, man.
It's also a fun fact, Cubby.
Get out the tinfoil caps.
Here's another fun fact, Cubby, and I'll hit it to you. The 3 seeds that we're sending to Worlds are the same 3 seeds that NA sent in 2018.
Yep.
When we went to South Korea. You also know how that went down. TL and 100 Thieves did not, unfortunately, make it out of groups, but Cloud9 went all the way to semifinals. So
you got the good draw.
I'm predicting the same thing.
All right.
That's my hot take.
Dude, you got to go on Hotline League again. Get it right.
True.
Your Worlds predictions, yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to
when
tell.
When did you go on Hotline League?
Yo, you haven't heard this story? Yo, this story is epic. This is a great story.
Really?
It's story time.
Smax you. Oh.
All right, break.
Heard this.
Story time with Raafaa. Real quick. New segment.
Oh my god.
This is a great story.
So, it was the beginning of October, or not. See.
This is 2018.
Yeah, 2018. This is halfway through October.
This is
the Monday before we go into quarterfinals. I had just come back from Busan, and I had I went to Busan to see the group stages, and I saw all stages of group play. I came back. Hotline League is on the next day. I subbed to Travis Gafford, and I see if I can get in. And the topic was G2 versus RNG, I guess. Or we're just talking about quarterfinal matchups. And a lot of people were favoring RNG over G2.
They were tournament favorites.
Yeah. RNG were straight up tournament favorites. Hell, when you looked at the Rise Worlds music video, you saw Uzi at the very last shot. So it's kind of like hinting, maybe this is Uzi's Worlds to Rise in similar fashion that
G2
Ambition did
plans
for 2017. Yeah. That being said, G2, to remind you, this is the roster with Wonder, Jankos, Perks, Hjarnan, and Wadid. So this is the Heimerdinger bot
himself.
Specialist, right?
Yep.
This is the Heimerdinger bot. And on that show, not only it was the second time I talked to Travis Gafford because I technically met him at Worlds briefly. He didn't remember who I was, which is completely fair. Marc's, it's just I'm a fucking 2018. I just started casting. I'm just as knowledgeable or known as a piss random.
Dude, I just found it funny. Keep going.
Yeah. No, I mean like, yeah, I was a piss random back then. So it's okay. And Nero was on this show as well, by the way, when he was still coaching for Equifox. And this was the first time I met a Nero. So this is also when he had really curly hair, long curly hair. So I need to ask Nero if he remembers this at all. Or if he associates me with that person, because Anero was very against the idea that G2 had any likely chance of winning.
As most of us
He was very sure that RNG were going to sweep G2. So I get on there and I say, actually, I think G2 are favored against RNG because I think Perks has been performing better than Xiaohu has. And I think Wonder has been playing better than who was the top laner for RNG at the time? Was it 2018 RNG?
Xiaobe?
No.
No, he went on to be Longzhu. Was it Longzhu?
Perhaps. Here, I'll just look up the freaking roster here. Let Me. Or it was Let Me.
They had 2 that year.
Oh yeah. No, you're right. One was Let Me. Who was the other dude?
We're getting yelled at. It was just Let Me.
Oh
Anyway.
yeah. Okay. Anyway, probably just yeah.
Dude, Kelsey, I don't know. I wasn't in esports at the time. Don't
Yeah,
yell at me.
Anyway.
Yell at these guys. They actually know.
The point is, I had pitched that Perks and Wonder were better than their solo lane counterparts in Xiaohu and Let Me, based on tournament performance. I understood, and I said that, you know what, it's more than likely that, there's no question that Uzi and...
Ming?
Was it Ming? Okay. I wasn't sure if Mana was not on this roster. He was on KT at this point. Because that was Deft KT.
Maybe I do know things.
So Uzi Ming, way better bot lane than Yarn and Wadid. However, the way that Yarn and Wadid were able to neutralize powerful bot lanes, not necessarily with Heimerdinger. I think you could always snag Sivir for with Hjarnan in that. And I basically said that this will be a topside difference. And more than likely that G2 are going to beat RNG. There will be 2 caveats to this. It will go to 5 games. On the 5th game, RNG are going to have their backs against the wall, and they're going to sub out their main jungler for MLXG because they're realizing that they need some early aggression and pressure.
Some crackhead plays.
Yeah, they need some crackhead plays because the RNG jungler at that point, the main one was not MLXG.
We're gonna give Kelsey a stroke.
Yeah, Kelsey is just like very, very angry at you right now.
Well,
This is your
not
third strike.
LPL, like history book. I'm sorry.
I got you.
Oh, it was Kartha! Wait, there's no way I'm supposed to not know that. I'm so fucking stupid. Oh my god. How do I not remember it's Kartha?
Now Fnatic is mad at you too.
Oh my. Oh my god. Oh my. I'm done with the show. I can't.
Down bad. He's down bad. He's down bad. That was the year that like they used.
Rescinds that tournament too. Oh my fucking god. I'm so dumb.
We have fun on this show, everyone. We have a lot of fun.
Fuck.
Finish your story. Come back.
The onesie really makes it for me, honestly. Really ties this all together.
Okay. All right. Anyway, The point is, I say a lot of things that eventually came true. Even though Twitch chat was like saying this dude is so fucking smoking crack, or he's high out of his mind, and Nero wasn't being disrespectful at all. He was just telling me straight up bluntly, I think you're wrong, which is completely fair, and that's respectful because
that's what I would do at that time.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. I mean, maybe they can cheese one game, but there's no way they actually beat RNG.
There's no way they get Heimerdinger for one game. Wait a minute.
Yeah. And to his credit, they never got Heimerdinger in that series, but they neutralized Uzi every single game that they won, and Uzi never got out of lane with like a huge lead. And some of the games that G2 won, Perks fucking gapped.
Piss smurfed.
Yeah, they pissed.
The game 5, the bonk.
Bro, the Aurelia gameplay, or not the Akali Aurelia solo lanes were actually filthy.
They got TK. Oh yeah, Wadid's TK was nasty.
That was the worlds with all the rework champions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Aatrox and Urgot Gaming.
Aurelia, Akali.
Yeah. I remember that.
Urgot Gaming.
Urgot too.
Dude, all those champions were so broken and so fun to watch. It was amazing.
Silas.
I loved that.
Was Silas there yet?
Silas too.
Yeah, because Silas Akali was a matchup.
We also had a ton of like super fun junglers to watch. I know for some people it wasn't fun, but like watching Camille jungle, Talia jungle, Xin Zhao jungle, Lee Sin jungle, really Gragas jungle.
Dude, and Aatrox had 2 dashes and a revive. Akali Shroud could block turret damage. And oh my, that was so amazing. And the Aurelia stuff too.
Anyway, yeah.
Aurelia ult disarmed, dude.
Aurelia ult disarmed. Yeah, that.
Oh my
was a fun time. At the end of the day, G2 won the series. MLXG was brought on game 5. They won through topside, just as I said, and I had never felt so fucking smart, and my ego had been amazingly stroked that day. And I took to Twitter, and the first thing I see, thankfully I was following a Nero, he's like, all right, where's that kid from Hotline League? I need to...
Dude,
I need to apologize.
I remember seeing that tweet, and that was you.
Dude, I probably listened to that episode of Hotline League. I probably listened to that.
That's funny as shit.
All the time.
It's one of my saved posts on Reddit. If I go back and bookmark, it was a fucking great day. Because Travis then went back and posted that moment the day after G2 won the series.
Yeah.
And, gave me a lot of credit. And
there's this random caller that called the game result and score perfectly. I remember that tweet, dude. I was like, this guy's an idiot, but he was right.
That's me.
And that was you.
And that's still me, Cubby. I'm still a fucking idiot, and sometimes I'm right.
I find this.
Right.
I've heard the story like 5 times. It gets better each time.
Who's winning worlds, Marc? Tell us now.
FPX.
Fnatic.
All right. That's the perfect amount of troll.
To the finals, man.
Did they get ahead of Darius?
Crying when they won, I was in tears, bro.
Dude, today was so fun.
Whippo Jungle World skin. Here we come.
Yes. I know today was so fun. I love that story, Marc. We were talking about Academy.
That's amazing.
We didn't really get started.
Oh yeah, Cubby's got a lot of stuff to do tonight, huh? Okay. So Academy. We got the let's start with the Academy playoffs.
Yeah.
So, because I mean the finals of UGP was also Academy, but the Academy playoffs, there were 5 series and 4 of them went to 5 games, and the other one that didn't went to 4 games.
Yeah.
The top 6 Academy teams are all so close and so good.
It's pretty fun.
I'm really happy with
it's pretty fun,
Academy playoffs.
Also, high key, they had better reads in the meta than LCS. So, I saw that tweet thread flying around today, and I was like, actually, yeah. Like, I thought Academy meta reads were like pretty good. They were playing Lulu Kindred like way before everyone
Yeah.
else, and like
That's
Karma's in.
true.
Yeah.
This is
Pretty
why
cool stuff.
good academy teams are a must, because
Yeah.
then the LCS teams can look and be like, yo, what you guys do in academy? That looks pretty cool. We should try it up in here in LCS, you know?
So one thing I noticed right off the bat, Tomio's already top 5 academy jungler, man. Like game 1.
Yeah.
He's that good. I really think Tomio is like really good. Like there are some good junglers in academy. I really think Tomio like actually does slot in like top 5.
His Nidalee game 5 almost won them the game. That was actually...
He had 2 Olaf carries with a Lulu. Like he just ran the game. He solo won game 1. Like
yeah,
he's good.
He's very good.
I think that every team is close, but I think the TL are the best and 100 Thieves are the second best.
I think that TL are the best. I think that Immortals are worse than Dignitas. And maybe Golden Guardians if the Inero buff is that big. I think if they played another week of regular season, that Immortals would have been in UGP. And that probably would have placed TSM in playoffs, which wouldn't have been better. But I do think that the top 6 are all the teams in playoffs except for Immortals and also Dignitas. And I get to say I told you so. Now.
Yes, you do.
Because I told you so that Dignitas were good. Playing around their rookie jungler, they found a playstyle that works really well. JJ looks like a human. And it gives Soligo a jungler to play through too, which makes him look even better. And Lorlo gets to play engage and comfort picks. And spawn is unlocked. It's the final piece of the puzzle, man.
Yeah,
Will is so
Dig
good.
actually played really well, yeah.
Man,
He had some close series, but yeah.
Why is your compliment for JJ? JJ's a human.
It was a pretty big jump for him, okay? I watched a lot of games that did not look human. Okay? And that's mean, but I'm right. But
it's okay.
He looks really good. He looks so good in UGP. And he looks so good in week 9 too. I'm very impressed.
I'm happy he had a lot better games. Even if he didn't have good games, I still want to support him because he's the only Peruvian in NA. So
it's true.
Peruvian brotherhood right there. So
he's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Chad is already talking about this, so we might as well.
It's probably the transition.
This is the time to bring this up.
So based
Marc,
on my tweet,
I don't know if Marc, I don't know if you realized this, and I don't know if chat realized this outside of the people who are already talking about it, but because Team Liquid, 100 Thieves, and Cloud9 are going to Worlds, they get to bring 2 Academy players.
Mm-hmm.
And
I thought it was only 1.
It's 2 subs
no, they bring
now.
2.
Yeah.
2?
Yeah, they changed it to 7 a couple years back.
Well, so like I know like they brought Golden Glue and Blabber like for Cloud9 in 2018, but they could only switch between Blabber and Svenskeren.
They changed it after that. So
Yeah,
after 2018,
yeah, it's 7 now.
They made it so you could.
Oh,
it's pretty lit. Yeah, it's pretty lit.
Okay. So
But
do you think
that
100
means...
Thieves then are gonna bring like?
Oh, not think. We know.
Yeah. We are aware.
Are we bringing Kenvi and Ryoma, or Tenacity and Kenvi? Oh.
Maybe. But like that's like not. We don't know if that's confirmed. But if teams are bringing subs, teams are bringing subs, are going to pull them off their academy rosters, and that's not the only player I've heard that's going to get pulled to play with the LCS team. If you look at TL.
Oh yeah, I mean they're probably bringing Armeo.
Pretty easy guess.
Yeah.
Armeo and Jinx or Jenkins
Dope
probably.
was already there, so that team is okay.
Yeah, because they already have Inori and Dokla set up to take their place for Proving Grounds tournament for Team Liquid.
And then C9,
Cloud9,
Darshan, he's traveled with them internationally before to MSI. Why wouldn't you
And
take the
King
president?
played LCS
right?
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you definitely take Darshan. Your second. Do you
King
take
played LCS games this split. I think that's the most logical.
King?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or sorry, I might have said Darshan. I meant King.
Wait, when did Darshan play an LCS game?
Yeah,
he's the president, man. You'd take him from morale. Come on.
Yeah, for
No,
sure.
no,
I mean, like,
I'm
who are
not-
C9 going to sub in, right?
I thought for a
They're not
second like
gonna
Darshan
actually
actually
sub in
played an
anyone,
LCS game, and I'm like fucking
Not on
blinking
C9.
out. Okay.
No, you take Darshan from morale, man. It's El Presidente.
But King did, and
Yeah.
So then you have to consider, where do these hypothetical players come from on the academy teams now? And say for Cloud9, they take King to Worlds. They're gonna get Wixie.
No, they can't.
Yes, they can.
Because they're
They
changing the
can?
contract
I
rules.
thought
They're
so-
changing the contract rules to allow it.
so. Then
From what
was
we've heard.
Okay, so then the whole bumping up of like Tomio and Busio like didn't matter, or am I
I don't know.
Something...
I don't know how it impacts scouting grounds, but this is what we've heard for proving grounds.
Yeah, this is their fix to allow for academy players to go to Worlds. It was, from what I've heard, it's implemented.
When did this
recently.
happen? When did this announcement
Very
even happen?
recently.
It has not yet.
It has not been announced.
We are kind of leaking.
This is mostly speculation, but also some slight leaks.
We are leaking, but also if you think about it, you can probably figure this out pretty easily. So I don't feel bad. The only leak is that the rule change for the contract part, which is not confirmed, but that's what we've heard.
It's not confirmed, but
That's what we've heard. It's pretty strong.
Okay.
So again, hypothetically, if this is actually going to happen, Cloud9 Academy, if they take King to Worlds, they promote Wixie. Cloud9 Amateur are fucked. they are in the shit.
It's aggressive, man. They still got XU. You can plug and play on Marc.
I mean, they play around Wixie.
Yeah.
Do they not?
I mean, yeah, but he's like late game insurance. You can still get XU Lee Sin, man. It's fine.
I'm sorry to
Lee Sin's
disrespect
free
the
dub.
other players. XU is very good. But what if they take King and Surenfire?
Enough to beat Wildcard, Mr.
What
Cubby.
What if they take King
Even if
Surenfire,
we're
Cubby? Then what?
I mean, yeah, like who cares what they take, right? It hurts it hurts the top academy teams because they are the 3 top academy teams, and then it also hurts the amateur teams. So proving grounds could just be a good old like fashion NA clusterfuck, man. Like seriously, like a lot of the teams, like the playing field is being leveled a little bit by this. Like they knocked down the 3 top teams, they knocked down 2 mid-level teams, right? Like that's tough.
Yeah,
that's 5 teams being affected in the tournament. That's a lot.
Well,
some of the best teams too.
The
like
3, yeah, that's why the top 3 points is interesting. That's kind of like why I tweeted it today. I was hoping someone would put together the dots, and also, free dopamine hits, pretty sick.
Well, this is gonna.
Am I doing it right?
That being said, I don't mean this in a rude way. It may come off like a backhanded compliment, but at least Evil Geniuses Academy will do well in Proving Grounds because
you didn't have to do them like that,
and
Dad.
contracts.
Man,
Didn't
they won't
do 'em
play
like that.
contracts. They won't be playing contracts because Tomio's their jungler. But
Holy shit!
Will they
man.
not switch between the two?
Honestly, just put an aspect.
oh man, with
Just
Tomio, yeah,
just send the EGP roster instead of EGA.
I'm messing around.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But
Well,
also,
it
like,
also
if
means
JoJo's
that-
moving up to LCS, put an aspect.
Depending on who 100 Thieves actually do send, though, they could actually just play Busio because he is on their academy.
That's true. They could send Poom. But I've heard Tenacity can be.
Yeah.
So
which
Busio
point-
jungle.
Chad jungle.
Well, Chad jungle, but then Busio jungle. He's got an account and challenger for jungle.
He does. Oh man. Well, I apologize to the Cloud9 amateur guys for disrespecting you. I think very highly of Wixie, and I'm sorry.
I mean, if you look at
I mean, it affects 5 of the teams. Like, it's a pretty significant thing for PGA.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Also, Want to know what else is interesting?
Tell me what else is interesting, Cubby.
So that bracket that I drew up, which will be the bracket for PG, someone pointed out that one of the quadrants, which I have just now skipped over. Wait, where was the...
I'll find it for you.
Fuck. I think it's tweets and replies because I made a thread.
It was, but I copy pasted it somewhat.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because this bracket is actually really tough.
Here it is. What
the fuck does tweet go?
I'll post it here. Oh well, Twitch chat ruins the format of
the Twitch just hates the tweet just hates me.
I just put it in raising an egg.
All right. Anyway, this is a quadrant that exists in this bracket. These are the 4 teams. 100 Thieves will play TSM, and EG will play Golden Guardians. These are all Academy rosters. One of those teams is guaranteed to bottom 4. Yeah. There is also a full amateur side of the bracket, the bottom part of the bracket.
Which was always going to happen.
And one of those amateur teams is guaranteed to bottom 4.
That's not true. Cloud9 Academy isn't.
Oh, it's C9 Academy. But C9 Academy, Wildcard Red, or that one's not as interesting. IMT, Dig, Fly, and Zoos. One of those teams bottom 4s.
Jesus.
Like, this bracket is actually like super lopsided in 2 places for me, which is kind of weird.
It's really close to if those.
But we'll see what the form is in a couple months. But if the form is the same as like we saw the last time they played.
Well, it's not in a couple months, Cubby. This thing starts.
A couple weeks, my bad. Yeah.
It starts in 10 days.
Yeah, a couple weeks. We're close.
Yeah.
But yeah,
a couple months was not close.
But like if the teams play like their recent form, right? And it can change. I mean, there's a lot of time that's gone by, so you never really know. But that's a pretty lopsided bracket.
Yeah.
Which means that amateur teams are actually getting a pretty good, like, part of the. They're actually getting pretty lucky. Like,
Wildcard Red could win the whole thing.
I think they get. I think their expectations top 4. I actually do.
Depends on what form Cloud9 Academy take.
Yeah, but they run lower bracket still.
Top four upper bracket is what I'm saying. I agree that they should hit top 4 in the lower bracket.
Okay, so like going like win-win, like winning their quadrants. What you mean?
Yes, exactly. That's what
it's possible, but that's gonna be a banger game.
It depends on depends on what Cloud9 Academy brings to the table,
and if all their Academy players are there. Yeah,
we'll see. Really interesting stuff, though. I think we didn't. I guess we're just lumping everything together now at this point.
I mean, it's kind of lumped together by this point.
Yeah, that's what the postseason is all about. But
hooray!
I love the postseason for Proving Grounds, man. It's a shame that we have to think about Worlds roster things and how much that affects that. But it is still really cool.
It's okay.
So
the people that show up to Proving Grounds will be the ones that ultimately prove themselves. So, you know.
Yeah.
Why? Because
if anything, it makes it more interesting for. Yeah, because they prove it. Yeah. If anything, it makes it more interesting for the amateur teams because of the scouting grounds implications. Because it is genuinely easier for a team like Supernova to actually do that, depending on what Team Liquid Academy's roster looks like. So, something to think about. Yeah. It is really lopsided, though. I'm looking at it again. There are 2 quadrants with 3 amateur teams.
Mm-hmm.
And that's...
And the 2 quadrants have 7 academy teams. Yeah.
Combined, yeah.
Yeah, between the 2. So, yeah, it's pretty lopsided.
Zooey mama, Cubby. We got ourselves a bracket.
It's a bracket.
Assuming it stays the same, which it probably will.
Zooey mama. Can you say that on our next Wild Rift cast, Smax?
I can. I say that phrase a lot, actually. Big fan of
I've never heard you say it on a cast.
I guess that's true.
Break it out.
Yeah, you got me there.
All right. Is there anything else we want to talk about or cover? Like,
well, I know there was
for us.
There was a special someone who had an announcement planned.
Ah, yes.
And he just looked into the camera.
That is...
It
is correct. Okay.
And that special someone did not tell us what the announcement is, so we're all learning at the same time.
All right. I was contacted by Cloud9 for a gig this Friday. They are doing... How should I put this? It is a small show. They want me to be one of the co-hosts of this show. The idea is
Now this is a live leak.
Let's see.
Not the PG stuff. This is leaking.
It is a Cloud9 Rewind broadcast where the
what are like the weekly things to do? Like here's like what happened with our team the last week, like in our brand.
So I think that's the Nines. That's with Monte Cristo and a couple. So this is something different. This is an overall recap of Cloud9's LCS split Germany, and it's supposed to be engaging and positive. I liked how the bullet, because they contacted me about this a couple weeks ago, and they said, regardless of playoffs outcome, Cloud9 will look back on the split and reflect on setting a positive tone going into the finals weekend. Work with talent from the league community to drive a fun, lighthearted show message, which,
Raafaa is obviously terrible at all those things.
So the thing is that when I was looking at that best of 5 today, and I know I was like, yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with like sending Cloud9 or TSM. Going in the game, I was like, oh, please let it be Cloud9, please let it be Cloud9, please let it be Cloud9, please let it be Cloud9. It'll be so much easier to be.
Raafaa
like I could have, because my approach for that show would have been like, if Cloud9 didn't make it to Worlds, then I would have talked about how we still had a pretty impressive playoffs showing despite having some struggles in the summer season, and talk about Academy and talk about Amateur. And I would have just talked about, listen, you know what? Cloud9 has a bunch of talent in the pipeline that is super promising. I will still talk about that anyway. But now that we're going to Worlds, it's like, hey guys, we made it. So, but yeah. And I can't reveal who the co-host is, but you guys will find out soon later this week. So
I've got a good idea actually.
Yeah, this is where we guess.
I mean, you can guess if you want. You got one guess apiece. Shit. Okay. All right. Moving on.
Nice, man. Congrats.
Fuck. God, I tried to. I'm terrible.
Think I have the same guess.
I'm terrible at poker. Holy shit.
King Cubby, reigns supreme. Congrats, buddy. That's fun.
Okay.
Happy for you.
Anyway, thank you.
You need a jersey?
Yeah. I have a hoodie. I have a shirt. I have Cloud9 gear. I have so much Cloud9 drip, bro. So I'm gonna be fucking dripped out on the Cloud9 broadcast. So,
sweet.
But yeah,
that's really cool, man.
It'll be fun.
Nice, man.
And then you get to cast some Cloud9 and Wild Rift the next day.
True.
If they make it there, or are they already there?
They're already there.
They're
already
in the major.
Since we're wrapping up the show, anything else you guys want to say or talk about? Smax, what are you up to this week? Since Raafaa's spilling the beans.
Wild Rift on Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday. Very busy week for me. And by Monday, I do in fact mean tomorrow, so I'm going to go to sleep very soon after this.
Yeah, it's been late. Thanks for anyone who's joining us live in the chat. Appreciate it. My week, I've got tryouts getting underway for my collegiate team, so I'm trying to coordinate with them to figure out We had our first meeting today with returners, and then tomorrow it's a informal meeting for like new kids, and I'm gonna figure out all my plat 2s and ups that I'll have to get rubrics and tryouts and all that good stuff. And then if you guys are on the move or an audio only broadcast is more accessible to you, tune in the league day for the finals. We've got some cool stuff planned. We're gonna have some bonus people. And I'll be on the finals with TJ, so I'm really excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Woo!
So yeah.
Holy
awesome.
shit!
Yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. And yeah, that's my week. So tune in to LCS, support Amateur Academy, and if you like this, give us a like or a follow, sub. All the money I put into this goes to me, and then I put more back into this until I break even. Then we figure it out.
Yeah.
Either way, if you support us, give us a follow. Thanks for tuning in. Raising NA, episode 10. 3 weeks off, but not bad. Good job, guys.
And we're also gonna try to have a final list with Tim.
Yeah.
Soon.
Before PG.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Remember how I just said that I'm casting Wild Rift on Sunday? Yeah, it might go to 2:30.
Sam's busy.
So. Well, it's not just me. It's also Mark.
Yeah.
We'll find out though. I'm sure we'll find a way to fit that in. If anything, we'll just have it up on the website and tweet about it. So you'll get that content from us some way, somehow. And yeah, definitely tune into all that stuff. I am gonna go watch the Space Ghost episode of Next Level right now.
Yes, go there.
You should too if you haven't.
All right. With that said,
yeah,
everyone, thank you for tuning in. See you next time.
Bye.